Good morning and good afternoon to you all. Thanks for joining the Coffee Talk session this morning, where we will talk about Vendavo Sales Optimizer. Just for some context, my name's Dave Anderson. I manage our US business consulting team, and we are really a team of ex-pricing directors, generally, folks who've spent most of their careers in companies leading pricing transformation. And I've personally been here at Vendavo for the last 6 years, where I work with both prospective customers and current customers on their challenges around pricing. I see some friends and colleagues and partners on the call today. Welcome to you all, for those of you that I already work with. And then I also see some new folks as well who are not yet customers of Vendavo. So I do welcome you. And I thought it would be a good idea for those new folks, just of course, to give a very brief introduction to Vendavo. If you're not familiar with Vendavo, we've been in the business of solutions for sales and commercial process for the last 20 years. We really are focused on improving those processes that sit between CRM and ERP. So empowering the configure, price, quote, sales process for the management of customer quotes and customer contracts and renewals, and then solutions for the pricing back office to manage price data management, pricing analytics, and the application of AI and deep analytics to the development of pricing insights for business. What's really interesting and unique about Vendavo, I think, is that we are a technology-led solution for pricing and commercial process, but we also, a big component of what we deliver to customers is combining that technology with the expertise that we have here on board at Vendavo, and a real commitment to outcomes with customers through the measurement of value to make sure that customers are achieving results with the solutions that we deploy. So we're a bit different than others in the market that might be technology only or consulting-led technology businesses. But at the end of the day, like I said, we are really focused on technology to drive results with our customers. And from a solution standpoint, as I said, solutions for the commercial front office or selling process. So in business-to-business organizations, companies that have sales teams that negotiate pricing, managing that process with technology. And then for pricing organizations, providing technology to manage pricing information around the enterprise price setting, price administration, analytical insights for pricing decisions, and of course, the application of AI and sophisticated techniques for the development of that opinion of what best price is for different customers. But we are here today to really talk about a specific solution for providing product recommendations to your sales team. So this is all about generating cross-sell suggestions that pricing teams can provide to their sellers, so that when they are negotiating with customers, they have very specific and targeted suggestions for additional product sale opportunities within the context of that discussion. And when you apply this technology to sales process, the expected results really are more revenue. If you're suggesting to sellers new and different products that they hadn't otherwise considered, it's all about delivering targeted recommendations that improve your ability to capture more of that customer spend with these quality recommendations. So, what does this mean? Where is this information used? Like I said, it's primarily about delivering information to sellers inside of the commercial process. But of course, there's some behind the scenes work associated with the development of these delivered recommendations. But at the end of the day, what do we expect to do? We expect to provide inside of a selling business process a very specific product sale recommendation and associated information that gives sellers confidence around the value and quality of that recommendation. And we also expect to collect feedback from sellers as part of that. And I'll illustrate exactly what this looks like in a moment. So how does this work at a high level? Well, it's really about, firstly, using your own sales history and transaction data, along with customer and product information, for your business. Processing this information, using advanced techniques, using AI to develop an opinion of what customers look similar, and really evaluating the purchases for those similar groups of customers, and then ultimately delivering these recommendations into the commercial process. And that might be a CPQ solution like Vendavo CPQ. It might be a CRM system like Salesforce CRM. We'll show exactly what this looks like. But again, I think there are, firstly, questions around what exactly are we doing to develop these groups of customers and these specific recommendations. It's all about, firstly, understanding within the set of customers that you're transacting and those customers that you're meeting in the market, which of those customers look similar, then evaluating the purchases that those customers make, so that whenever you are in negotiations with a particular customer, you have a very clear picture of those customers and purchases outside of this customer you're talking to, that would provide some indication around the products that this customer is likely to be interested in. And frankly, if I kind of step back and look at my own personal experience, I've seen these types of efforts supported historically, typically within sales operations teams. These are historically very high effort projects for a group of folks inside of a business to firstly analyze all of the customers in your portfolio and all the purchases that they make, group those customers into particular segments, and then develop these recommendations for sellers for subsequent negotiations. This is a lot of work and a lot of effort if you don't have a technology like this. So at the end of the day, as I said, what do these recommendations look like for sellers? They really end up as a specific list of suggested products that would be communicated to sellers as part of the commercial process. I'll show this in greater detail in a moment in more of a live product demonstration. But this is really what that would look like within a CPQ platform. So as you are preparing that list of products that you'd like to propose and negotiate with customers, you're receiving a very specific list of products that you could choose to add or not add to that customer negotiation. If you're not using a CPQ solution, we've also delivered these recommendations into the Salesforce CRM environment. So where you have opportunities that sales teams are working within that business process, we deliver these recommendations right into that process, so sellers can evaluate these suggestions and add them to their selling plan for customers. So what I'm going to do at this point is really step outside of the world of slides and really walk through a kind of live demonstration of the two sides of this solution. Firstly, I'll illustrate what this looks like in the context of the commercial process. So give you a snapshot of really what these recommendations look like for a sales audience. And then we'll change gears and spend a little bit of time inside of the direct sales optimizer solution itself to give you a better sense for what this information looks like from a pricing team perspective, and what the development process looks like around the evaluation and construction of these customer groups and product recommendations that are a product of this solution itself. So with that, I'm going to jump out to firstly this illustration of kind of the net result in a CPQ system. So for those of you who are Vendavo CPQ customers, you'll recognize this view, but essentially we are inside of a deal. We have a deal level summary of products that are being evaluated, and you have a list of products that are currently being proposed to customers. What you see here is a tab called Sales Recommender in this case, but this is really where we would deliver and communicate these specific product opportunities as part of this solution. So here, as a seller, I'd evaluate these suggestions that would be coming out of the Sales Optimizer process. I'd be able to select individual products and add those products to the deal. So where I had an initial list of 4 products, I now have 2 additional products that have been suggested through this system on the basis of comparing this specific customer to its peers. One other aspect of the system that is interesting is I might also provide feedback regarding recommendations that are made that may not be useful to me. So as a seller, I can provide feedback that maybe certain recommendations shouldn't be provided to me in the future. My ability to do this is helping to train our models to better target suggestions for products in the future. Okay, let's change gears and really look at the direct Sales Optimizer solution and give you a better sense for the behind the scenes, which would really be the experience of the pricing team in both managing and creating these models and then understanding the recommendations that are being delivered into the commercial process. So we'll start here with an evaluation of a model which is published and active. Here, I'm firstly going to select some customer from my portfolio. I can basically search from my list of customers, or I can basically indicate a single customer from a drop-down menu if I'd like. But in this example, I have a list of product recommendations that is available to me. You can see this list can be sorted on the basis of relevance or on the basis of dollar opportunity. I can also evaluate the specifics of the purchase history for this specific customer, as well as detail regarding the peer customers on which these suggestions, these product suggestions are being made. I can also manage the same kind of feedback system that you saw in the commercial process with respect to removing certain recommendations from the list if that's my desire. This solution also provides just a general capability for folks on the pricing team to get a better sense for some of the metrics behind the modeling that is taking place with respect to these specific suggestions. And then if I kind of back out of an active model and really kind of look at the workbench within the system, I can also see that I'm able to evaluate, really different models, across, different attributes I might be considering in this solution. So here you can see in a draft model I have set up that as a user of this system, there's no requirement for me to be a data science expert. It's really tailored to business users for use, but I can do simple things in the setup of a model, such as define, what a customer means to me as far as the modeling process is concerned. Is this should I be providing suggestions at a ship to level or at a global customer level? What does a product mean in my solution? Is it a specific SKU? Is it a family level suggestion that I should be delivering? And also, what do I consider revenue? Invoice revenue, net revenue, etc. If I am looking to filter data out of the solution, I'm also able to do things like that, as well as control various model and algorithm settings when it comes to the determination of these customer groups and the recommendations that are being made. Okay, so what did I just show? We, of course, firstly started in the commercial process. We provided just a brief overview of the fact that we can evaluate multiple different models within this solution. I walked you through the recommendation console, where we saw specific to customer specific recommendations that are being made as an output of the solution. And we also talked about some of the context that is also shared in this solution with regards to purchase history and customer similarity and the model itself. As well, I did illustrate the fact that this is not a solution that requires a technical setup to a great degree. It's a very straightforward solution regarding the inputs that are all essentially determined through the user interface. Okay, so that was really the snapshot of the solution that I did want to provide today. Again, you saw the net output in CPQ, and we saw the detail of the Sales Optimizer solution itself. Interesting, we just did release this capability in the fall timeframe. So just last quarter, it was a new product and new release for Vendavo. We have several lighthouse customers, and this is a very interesting quote from one of the customers that has already deployed this solution in practice. This is a quote from Reed at Truck Pro. They're a distributor of heavy vehicle parts in the US, but he basically said, look, this is all about making it easier for the selling team to do their jobs more effectively. They are going to sell more products because the Vendavo engine is going to really deliver to sales a very targeted set of recommendations that have a high probability of being relevant to the specific customers that are being sold to. Also, interestingly enough, well, I think we'll talk a little bit more about this customer later. This last set of information, this is my last slide for the discussion this morning, is really just to kind of highlight what about Sales Optimizer is really different versus other product recommendation solutions on the market. There are certainly retail recommendation engines that are available on AWS or in Azure Cloud, but really what sets this solution apart from those solutions is it is specifically tailored to and for use in B2B negotiated selling. The recommendations that are made are very targeted and highly personalized relative to, I think, those more retail-focused solutions in the market. I think you saw through the walkthrough of the solution that it's highly configurable, but not requiring a lot of technical expertise to do so. Really, all of the kind of heavy lifting and sophistication around the development of these recommendations are really things that happen kind of behind the scenes as part of the solution itself, really doing the heavy lifting from an analysis standpoint. And then, of course, this is one of the Vendavo Intelligence Cloud solutions that we have made available for customers. So it is fully hosted and is basically built for use with other commercial systems from a data perspective, and doesn't require much effort from internal IT organizations to operate, because it is, again, hosted and managed by Vendavo directly. So that was really what I intended to cover today in today's coffee talk. Hopefully that gave you a good sense for the solution. I'm happy to open it up for any questions you might have.
Everyone, please feel free to put in your questions in the Q&A option. We'll be happy to answer them. We do have one question, Dave, right now, which is what's the effort required to set up this solution?
Yeah, as I said, the input to the solution itself is all about really collecting your sales data and customer and product details. So for existing Vendavo customers, of course, this information is already available in analytics. So if you have Profit Analyzer deployed, there is not a heavy lift as far as kind of really having that information available to provide to the solution. So not an involved process to set up the solution. Again, it's hosted, something we can turn on very quickly. If we are already collecting data, it's very easy to consume that information and build the models and generate these recommendations, which frankly, once the data is straightened away, is a, I would say inside of an hour effort. I hesitate to say that, but when I've used the solution with new data sets, I've basically had recommendations ready to go within the hour. And then from a consumption standpoint, we have an API framework that really makes it easy for other commercial solutions to call the solution for these recommendations. So there might be a little bit of work to create that connection point on the commercial side of the process, but this is not a many month project. This is something that is up and running very quickly for customers.
Okay, thank you. Here's another question. Hi, Dave. Can you speak to the master data readiness or maturity needed to get started on this, for example, for the product recommendations?
Yeah, I think most companies have a product master in their ERP. They have transaction data. So, that information, particularly if it's already being delivered into a Vendavo environment, is essentially at the level of readiness that would be required. Like I said, we've got a few lighthouse customers that we are working with already with this newly released product and solution. And I can't say that we've run into a lot of challenges with the master data related to those efforts. So data is important, of course, but I think firstly, if you're already a Profit Analyzer analytics customer, already working with us on price recommendations in like Deal Price Optimizer, you're probably well prepared to easily support this solution as well.
Right, thank you. Here's another question. How much change management is required for sellers to start using the recommendation, and is any training required?
Yep. No, that's a great question. It's interesting, having worked in pricing, and I think Vendavo historically having this kind of deep focus on delivering a recommended price suggestion to sellers. I can say that's not always something that is well received by sellers, in the sense that what we were kind of doing with those solutions is saying, hey, we think you can do a better job of making a price decision, and here's some data to support that. In this case, this is really a win-win for both pricing teams and sales. If you're a seller, and you think of what's going on in industry right now, like some of the companies that we talk to, they're going through acquisitions. Their sales teams have been specialized in the past, are now consolidating and have kind of broader responsibility for selling products than they have in the past. And they may not be so familiar with products in other areas of their own organization that they've never had to sell before. So this is really valuable to those selling teams, in the sense that it's just a pure recommendation based on facts that we've really kind of isolated in the solution around the customers that look similar to the customer they're talking to, and the products that those customers are buying. And the solution itself actually provides visibility to sellers around the basis for these recommendations. I mean, those all contribute to high levels of sales adoption. I mean, what seller doesn't want, essentially at no effort to themselves, kind of new data points that make it easy to suggest or discover selling opportunities in their own account. I'm not being told that I need to make a better price decision. I'm basically being provided these free leads, essentially, for new selling opportunities with the customers that I'm negotiating with. So I don't see this as requiring perhaps the same level of change management that price guidance type of optimization would require as far as rollout.
Okay, thank you, Dave. So we are at the half-hour mark. Maybe this is a good time to finish our webinar today. So thank you very much, Dave, for your very engaging presentation, and thanks to all the attendees, obviously, for taking some time from their day to join us. Feel free to reach out to us with any question. My phone number, if you want to call me, is 720-440-1250. You can call me directly with any question. And we hope to do these coffee talk sessions regularly. So during this year, you will get invitations from us a few times, and we hope you can register and attend. We will cover similar solutions or high-level topics at each coffee talk session. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and hope you'll have a very good evening or very good rest of the day, depending on where you are. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.